So a couple of months ago I put together this tutorial on how to build my very own design of a multi-story slime block elevator. But today we're going to be looking at a much simpler, much more stripped down design that will get you from point A to point B. This is a perfect elevator for a mine or a lookout tower or a hidden underground base or something of that sort. Let's get started. This new design uses a lot of the same mechanics as the previous design, including the downward vertical wire, the stopping mechanism, the launching mechanism, and the upwards vertical wire. Now obviously, since this is just a single point A to point B slime block elevator, we won't be needing any of this lectern selector. Also, to simplify this system, rather than using RS NOR latches to keep track of what floor the elevator is on at any point in time, the up state and down state of the elevator are exactly the same, and anytime you press either button, it attempts to send the elevator both up and down simultaneously, and whichever position the elevator is in is obviously where it will be activated and it will be sent in the other direction. This means that when the elevator is in the up position, you can call it from the first floor and it'll come down to you. Or when it's in the down position, you can call it up to the second floor. Another feature of this design is what I lovingly call the dummy floor. And as the elevator goes up, it leaves behind this dummy floor so that no dummies fall down into the elevator shaft down below. Because as you can see, there's a little bit of a danger pit here. Another cool feature of this new design is that the spacing between your floors can be any spacing 4 blocks or greater. So this elevator could go from bedrock to the sky limit, and the only additional resources you need for each block of space between here is a single wall and a single water source block. This is legitimately all you need to build this thing. The most expensive thing in here is 11 observers, which is very manageable in survival mode. The stack of obsidian just signifies immovable blocks, so that could be furnaces or droppers. This could be any movable block, this could be any type of wall, and this could just be buckets of water. And how much you need of these will all depend on your floor spacing. And this wool doesn't technically need to be wool, but I think it looks nice as wool, especially because the carpets do need to be carpets. So to start off, we need 2 of these, and then we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our 6th block here is going to be our first floor. So this is going to be obsidian, a sort of C shape here, or any other immovable block. Up next, we need to put 2 movable blocks here, and 2 slime blocks here. And then we're going to put a sticky piston facing down, and an observer back here. Now we're going to place 2 more slime blocks here, with a sticky piston facing up, and a sticky piston facing down next to it. Then we're going to add 4 more slime blocks, with 3 wool blocks around, and 2 carpet blocks, or 2 carpets on top. And then we're just going to finish this off by adding an observer facing that way, and that is the full elevator module completed. I'm going to go ahead and place some immovable blocks on top of here while we're working so that this doesn't escape. You also need to place another movable block right here. Up next, we're going to place a column right here in line with this front part of the obsidian, and then we are going to place a button on this column here. This button is very simply going to power a torch that goes into a sticky piston that is supporting some soul sand. Starting next to this piston, we're going to place 5 cobblestone walls going downwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And below that, we're going to place an observer looking at this bottom wall, and we're going to place blocks going up the sides of this wall. And you can see when I place this last one in, they all convert from pillar form to wall form. And then you need to connect this observer up to here by doing 2 observers like that, a note block, and then 2 more observers here. And then you probably want to place a block on top of that note block so it doesn't make noise. The absolute minimum gap between these floors is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and build a 4 block gap here. So you want to continue your pillar up to the second floor and place a second button on the second floor. This second floor button also has a torch on the side of it with a block overhead and a torch on the back. Another block over here, some redstone dust right here, and another torch on this block here. Now this next part here is kind of a weird quirk of Minecraft, but this torch is going to be going to be powering a piston that's 2 blocks below it. So we're going to place our piston right here. And as you can see, it powers it for some reason. I still don't get that. We're going to replace this obsidian here with a pushable block. And then we're going to bring our walls up to this piston here, as well as the blocks on either side of them. Now facing the 4th wall from the top, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to place an observer. And then we're going to chain an observer around like this into a sticky piston. This sticky piston needs a block. And then the final step here is to create an enclosure for our water. So we need to actually start with the block below the soul sand and all the blocks around the soul sand. And then we can make our way up until we are in line with this block here. Now we're going to place water in every one of these. You can do this by stacking up ice and then breaking it. And then we're going to put an observer facing that top water block, a sticky piston here, and a redstone block on top of this torch. So now if we remove these obsidian, we need to build up a column of immovable blocks right here. But at this point, everything should work pretty much perfectly. You can send the elevator up, you can send the elevator down, you can call the elevator up, and you can call the elevator down. The only thing left to do is to build an enclosure around it, which you can do in lots of different ways. So you could actually place another wall right here and make it a standard elevator entrance, or you could have your wall be here, and this could be like a flat up against the wall kind of situation, like so, where you have the elevator like this, and you can just walk up, you get in the elevator, and it's kind of a more open concept type elevator. And this block in the back here should work perfectly fine if it's in this state by default or in this state by default. So you could do, if this is a part of a wall here, then you could have that like that. Or if you have your wall set up like this, you could have that like that, and it should work perfectly fine. It's also important that you don't have any blocks here if you want the dummy floor to work properly. As you can see here, building a taller version is exactly the same. The only difference is you need a taller bubble stream and a taller wall stack. And because the default state of this elevator is for this block to be pushed out, you don't need the piece on top that I discussed in my elevator update video that sends the elevator back down in case it's accidentally called up for some strange reason. You can see here if I update this and send an update to that, the elevator will always stop on the 2nd floor because that block is pushed out. So there's no chance that anybody will accidentally send this thing flying up into the sky. I truly hope that this tutorial has been useful. If you end up building this elevator in your world, please let me know and send me some screenshots of your creation. You can find my Twitter and Instagram in the description below, and feel free to send some stuff my way. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. Have a good one.